Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of BTD6. Welcome to another Crosspath comparison video. In this video I'm going to analyze the stronger stimulant, the 400 Alchemist, and we're going to see with math and with a very detailed analysis which of the two Crosspath is better. So it's better to go for a 420 Alchemist, or is it better 401? So the two main differences between these two Crosspaths are pretty much that the bottom one is going to just increase attack speed. So the Alchemist is going to be able to give again the brew more quickly. Instead, the middle Crosspath is going to make the brew to last for a longer amount of attacks, so for a higher amount of attacks of the tower that's being buffed, and therefore it just lasts longer, right? So that's pretty much the difference. So I have Monkey Knowledge off, so let's just jump into Monkey Medium Sandbox, and let's just take a look at these towers. Now, in my experience about the game, both of these upgrades are equally good. So there isn't one that it's like always better than the other. It depends. So the correct answer is it depends. And it depends on three main things. First of all, if the Alchemist is going to be in range of a village that has jungle drums, so a village that increases attack speed. Second thing is how many towers the Alchemist is going to buff. Is it going to buff only one tower? Is it going to buff two towers? Or is it going to buff more than two towers? So how many towers, let's say it better, how many towers the Alchemist is going to have in its range? So 1, 2, or more than 2. And third scenario is how quickly the tower is going to attack. So it's a tower that attacks super quickly, like a super monkey, or like a specter, like a heli, like those towers that just have a ton of attacks and therefore they're going to consume the brew very quickly. Or it's a tower like a mortar, like, I don't know, like a bomb, like other towers that instead have a much slower attack speed. That's the third thing that's gonna make the difference between which of these two Crosspath is better. So first of all, let's analyze the situation with in which the 401 Alchemist is always stronger than 420. That is when you're gonna buff two towers, and you wanna buff a third one. So you have a third tower in range of the Alchemist, and you're gonna buff also that tower. Now in that case, 401 Alchemist is not enough, because even with the extra attack speed, you can only buff two other towers. You can't buff a third one. But this is when the village comes in handy, because if you have the Alchemist in range of a jungle drums village, that's when the Alchemist gets enough attack speed to actually now buff with the brew 3 different towers, as you can see. And therefore in this way you can save up all the cash that you're going to need to place a third Alchemist, and yeah, you can just use one to buff 3 towers. So this is the scenario in which 401 it's always better than 420. On the contrary, 420 it's always better when it's gonna buff only a single tower. When you're gonna buff only one tower, either be like a perma spike, an ace, a mortar, and like any tower, if it has in its range only one tower, then it's always better to go with the Alchemist 420. And that is because the Alchemist has already enough base attack speed to replenish, so to give again the brew as soon as it expires or it's consumed. Of course, if the tower is very fast attacking, like this ace, where you can see that the brew gets consumed and the Alchemist doesn't give it right away, right? Because that would make it too powerful. So there is a little bit of delay from where the Alchemist is giving the brew and the ace, like the brew lasting. And that's because the ace is very fast attacking. If I now change, like instead of an ace, like I get a mortar, right? Like a 420 mortar. In this case, oops, In this case, the brew is gonna last longer. And it's gonna last almost permanently, as you can see here. So see the brew, it's up, and as soon as it expires, the Alchemist is gonna give it to it. And let's try now around 79, so you actually can see the around. So see here, the brew is still standing, and as soon as it expires, the Alchemist just give it to it. So that's the main difference between a tower that attacks very quickly and a tower that doesn't. The fact that the brew is gonna get consumed more or less quickly. So that's pretty much it. Of course, here in this case, the Bloons are getting through in around 79, just the mortar is not enough. But that was just to show you that a tower can have the buff almost permanently up, instead a very fast attacking tower can't. But regardless, if the Alchemist is buffing only one tower, it's always better to go with the Alchemist 4-0. Now in the third case, both the upgrades are equally good. So if you know already that you're gonna buff only 2 towers, so you're not gonna place a third one in range of the Alchemist, having or not a village doesn't really change much in this case. Both Alchemists are pretty good. So let's suppose I have here a ninja and like a wizard, and I have an Alchemist. Now if I get this Alchemist 4-0, and I have this ninja, I don't know, 4-0-1, and then this wizard like 4-0-1 as well, right? There is no village, there are no other towers in range, just these two. 4-0 or 4-0-1 is exactly the same. There isn't much difference between the two. And you can see here that of course the ninja, it's attacking slightly slower than the wizard. The wizard attacks more quickly, so it's probably gonna consume the buff a little bit more quickly. But despite that, you can see that the Alchemist can keep on giving the brew to both towers almost always. So the brew it's almost always up. And yeah, you can see here around 79, no Bloons getting through. Alright, and now if I sell this Alchemist and I just get a 4-0-1 Alchemist, you're gonna have the same outcome. So in this case, the brew and the Mexodip last for less attacks, but because the Alchemist has more attack speed, it's gonna be able to replenish, to give again the brew more quickly. So at the end of the day, the overall DPS stays almost the same. So yeah, you can see here that the outcome is the same. Around 79, you're able to destroy both the Bloons, all the Bloons, and there are no Bloons sneaking past, and yeah. So there isn't much difference between Alchemist 4-0 or 4-0-1 in this scenario. So that's pretty much it. That sums up the 3 different scenarios in which using one Crosspath or the other might be better. So remember guys, if you want to buff more than 2 towers and you have the Alchemist in range of a village, it's always best to have the Alchemist 4-0-1, because that makes the Alchemist able to buff 3 towers. Second scenario, if you're gonna buff only a single tower, whatever that might be, so a fast attacking tower or a slow attacking tower, the best is always to go with an Alchemist 4-2-0. Third scenario, if you know already that with that Alchemist you're gonna buff only 2 towers and you're never gonna get a third one in its range, then going with 4-2-0 or 4-0-1, regardless if there is or not a village with extra attack speed, 4-2-0 or 4-0-1 are exactly the same, so there isn't much difference in the overall DPS. If you know already that you're gonna buff only 2 towers. And yeah, so those are the 3 scenarios for the Alchemist. So I hope that this video was helpful, and hope you enjoyed. See ya, bye bye.